Good morning, everyone. Beck here from becdtransformation. Just going live with you. We've got a bit to cover. My special guest is on taxi duty, so she won't be here till about 10:30. So we won't be able to hear from her and her amazing journey on healing her anxiety until then. So I've got different camera angles, so excuse me if I look in different spots today. I'm trying to record it so that I can upload it to my YouTube channel and my website as well. So you'll find everything I've done before on my vlog at becdtransformation.com, vlog.html. I've put the link in on the live and I'll put it in also on the YouTube channel. So I thought we'd start today with some light language. I thought we'd just come into a space while we're waiting for people to hop on, of complete peace, of connection to our higher selves, our divine guidance, and just pulling down all the walls and all the barriers and all the limitations to get out of today what you're here to get out of today. Kia koiata te o, ia no mai ato ya ka she, ai ato ya ka ya to e, ai ato ya te a, ai amo ne a te o koia te a, ai ato ka shi a te a. E o mai amo te a ma ka shi. Ai ato te a te o koia te a. I o no mai ato ka yeshe te a. Ai o koia te a. So this tuning fork is 580 megahertz, the highest tuning fork I could get to raise vibration. I've just introduced on my booking app shamanic healing, which will include light language, it will include tuning forks, it will include sound bowls, crystal bowls, metal bowls, and the koshi chime and rose water. So it's the highest level that I've been blessed to channel for the healing to come through, and just letting you know about that. And if I have any Indian head massage therapists that I've trained watching by any chance, either now live or later, hi Michelle, see you there. Thank you for joining. I'm looking for a demo body for the class next Sunday. So hit me up through a direct message and let me know if you'd be willing to donate your body for a demonstration on Indian head massage. It would involve the day, maybe half a day, I'm not sure yet. We're just waiting on numbers to finalize and I'll be able to let you know. So just going on some of the things that have come through the lives. We talked on the first one about getting inner guidance, and a couple of the participants on the live were getting clarity and some guidance. So it's great to get that divine guidance coming through. And what we're being called, we were called in 22 to take action. The increasing energies, the increasing frequency that's coming through right now is actually demanding that we take action on our inner guidance, because we're being asked to move forward, we're being asked to heal, we're being asked to evolve, we're being asked to remember who we are, why we came, and the only way to do that is to actually take action, not hesitate, not hold back on what you're being guided to do. The more you take action on your guidance, the stronger it will get. And we need to move out of our heads, out of our CPU unit, all the emotions, all the patterns, all the programs, they need to take a back seat. The ego needs to take a back seat now. 23 is all about coming into the heart space, the guidance space, the divine connection. Divine connection is what it's all about in 23. Divine connection seeks to help you remember who you are and come into the power that you actually are on this planet, in this reality. You are the power here. You are divine creation here to change what's happening on this world. So that brings me to alchemists and creators. So what does that actually mean? So to alchemize something is to basically acknowledge it first. So I've talked a lot about darkness, the darkness within us, the darkness in the world. The world is reflecting us. So a lot of us, we were just getting on with our lives. We were kind of just going about our business. We weren't really paying attention to ourselves. I can only speak for me. I was kind of just going along and just on the treadmill and on the hamster wheel and not really giving deep connective thought to me, what I'd like to create. I didn't believe in my creative capacity. I didn't believe my inner guidance. As a child, like many of you, I was told I was imagining things, I was making things up. So I kind of gave up on my inner guidance. Through life, I've had awakenings through life, come back to it, and then another chapter has dragged me away from it. So really, we're in an age where that alchemy that we're capable of, that creator space that we're capable of, creating our own experience, creating a better world, creating communities that love each other, don't separate from each other, that actually see that everyone is here to help us. Everyone is here as a contribution to help us grow, to help us evolve, to help us realize we're all one consciousness. We are all one, having different experiences. We're learning different things, and we can actually help each other if we just stop judging each other. So judgment is the greatest crime we can commit. Judging ourselves first and judging others. Even the Bible says, judge not lest ye be judged. So judgment really has to go in 23. If it didn't go in 22, 22 was the year to do all the work. 23, it's going to get really intense if you don't do this work. It's going to get really difficult and everything's going to come up and we're going to be challenged in a major way. So that's why I've started doing these lives. I really just want to provide some guidance on what's worked for me. So taking responsibility, what does that mean? So we have to take responsibility for what we've created in our lives, for the broken relationships, the experiences that we've created, the good stuff too. That's the best part. We've created beautiful friendships, beautiful relationships, beautiful community, beautiful families around us. We can take responsibility for that. We have to also take responsibility for those areas that aren't working, that have broken down, for the world in general, that our sleep over the years past, our insomnia, our sense of being disconnected and detached and not really interested in what's happening outside and around the world has created the world as it is today. So once we actually take responsibility and we realize our thoughts, our feelings, what we put out in the world actually affects the energy of the world. And that's how powerful we are. On an individual soul level, we actually affect what's happening outside. So knowing that, it gives us a sense of great power. And that's really what 23 is about, is harnessing that power, recognizing it, recognizing you have it in the first place, and that you affect the energy around you, that your frequency, wherever it may be, whether it's low in grief and sadness, in anger, in resentment, in bitterness, whether it's high in joy, whether it's high in happiness, love, peace, peace is such a high vibration. If you can have peace in your mind, peace in your heart, peace in your life, you affect the frequency of the world. More of us in peace bring more peace to the planet. So we did talk in other lives about the light that's coming through right now. The light is so intense that's coming through. So there is nowhere for darkness to hide right now, which is why we're seeing so much unfold on the world screen. So much is being revealed for those who choose to see it. You have to go outside mainstream media to find out what's happening around the world. The light that's pouring into many, many countries, how people are rising up, how people are taking responsibility and getting active in their countries. So there's a lot happening. There's a ton happening. So coming back to alchemy and creation. So alchemy is actually being able to take responsibility for what we've created, both what we deem as negative and positive, and actually absorbing that, acknowledging it, and being grateful for the kind of creators we are, and actually just letting the fears, the anxieties, the ego, the programming go, and coming into that space where I started, which is that divine guidance, that inner guidance that basically is it's our design, it's our God source, it's our connection to God Himself, herself, source, the universe, Allah, whatever you believe, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. It's our guidance. It's the Bible says the Holy Spirit lives within you, right? So it's about living from that space. It's about coming into that space and knowing that you are here to have an abundant experience, a beautiful experience. You are here to enjoy, to be happy, to be free. You are here to be free, not a slave to anyone, especially not a slave to yourself and not a slave to your mind or your ego. So the work really is about coming into that space of acknowledging you as source, you as a divine creator, you as a fractal of God here to make change, to have a beautiful experience, to be divinely guided, and to create the life you really want, the life you really desire. So by taking responsibility, by acknowledging that we can alchemize anything, the way we do that is we come into forgiveness. We forgive ourselves, we forgive everyone involved in the past, in our past, that we deem as having hurt us, or having said something that hurt us, or having done something that hurt us. It was all for our growth, it was all for our evolution. They were all a gift for us to see the parts of us that are not healed yet. I hope this makes sense. Can I get a thumbs up if it makes sense? So then this world is a school. It's a school, and polarity exists, duality exists here. So there's right, there's wrong, there's good, there's bad, there's fear, there's separation from source. The one antidote to all of that is love. The one antidote to connecting with source, to connecting to your true divine soul, your guidance system, is love. Love first for self, which means it covers everything else I've spoken about. It means forgiving yourself. Love for others. It means forgiving others and realizing that everything is working together for our good. Everything is working together for our good. And it's the ego that wants to hang on to the hurt. It's the ego that wants to hang on to the fear. It's the ego that wants to tell you you're small. Thanks, Michelle. I'm glad I'm making sense. It's the ego that wants to keep you stuck. It's the ego that doesn't want to let go of control. Because true love surrenders all. True love, true guidance, doesn't know what's going to happen in the next moment, doesn't care. True love, true guidance knows it's looked after, knows it's safe, knows it's protected. So that's the value, that's the beauty, that's the magic, that's the treasure, that's the gold of coming into this space of pure love for yourself, for others, for the world, for what's happening on the world stage. Understanding it's all divinely guided, it's all happening for a reason, and that you are safe within it. You are safe within it because you have a purpose here. You came for a reason. Most of us are soldiers in this spiritual war. And the first thing we have to do is realize our power as spiritual soldiers. We have to come into that space. Absolutely right, Michelle, yes. Forgiveness is true love, because we talk about unconditional love. The closest we get to unconditional love is pets and children. Now, we may get upset with our children, for those of us that have children. We may get upset with our pets, but don't we always forgive them? Don't we always come back to a place of just wanting to love them and wanting them to love us? And so everything they do, everything they say is you know, you may be unhappy in the moment with their behavior or what they're saying or doing. You may be sad for them. You may feel a myriad of things as a parent or as a pet owner. But at the end of the day, that love never goes away. So that's the place, once we get to it for ourselves, and the work really is in getting to that place for everybody else and the world itself, and understanding that everything's working together for our good. Everything's coming together for our good. So when we do judgment, we judge something as right, we judge something as wrong, we judge something as good, we judge something as bad, we judge people as right or wrong or good or bad, we judge ourselves as right or wrong or good or bad. And the things we judge as right or good, often the fact that they're a judgment, we don't want to let go of it because they're right and they're good, right? We align and agree with all of that. So it's harder to let go of that. It's still a judgment though. The wrong and the bad, we're more willing to look at. We're more willing to actually think about, sit with, because we judge it as wrong or bad. So really the key is to just not judge anything, to be in a neutral space, to be in a space of, I want to say, detachment. That's a good word. Being detached from things, not allowing our emotions to be tossed about on the waves of the ocean of emotion, to actually just be stable, be at peace, know you're looked after, know that everything's working together for your good, that everything is a divine plan for your evolution, for your growth, and for you to become the master, the creator, the magic here on the planet, and a leader within your own community, together with other leaders, so we can lead this world out of the darkness into the light. That's what we're here to do. So all of those lower vibrations I talked about, the grief, the anger, the resentment, the bitterness, the fear is such a low vibration, wanting to control outcomes, they're all of the ego, and they create separation from source, separation from divine guidance. So love, as Michelle said, forgiveness is true love. Love is also one with source. Love is the creator energy. Love is what creates the magic here. Love for self, love for others, love for being here in the first place. It's the toughest school there is. So just loving being here and knowing that you are being divinely guided and acting on your guidance. So our bodies, I said in the last slide, are sentient. So they're giving us signals continuously, our bodies. So when our bodies hurt, we're out of alignment somewhere. We're disconnected from source. We're having ego beliefs that are keeping us trapped, and the body's trying to move that energy out of us to make us, one, aware through pain or discomfort or stiffness or soreness. So for me, I created fibromyalgia to help me look at my resentment, my bitterness, my lack of love for self really was at the basis of it, was what I discovered. My lack of love for self, my lack of ability to receive love, me cutting myself off from myself, at war with myself, literally. So, oh, my left brain, just my right brain, just won't work together today. Okay, so autoimmune disease. They're the words I was looking for. So autoimmune disease is basically the body turned in on itself, at war with itself, right? It's an inflammatory internal condition. So often at the core of that is a lack of self-love. And there's been a trauma at some stage that has triggered all of that. For me, it was a thing that I had to take for nursing, which was a external poison into my system, but then the emotions that I was harboring, the emotions I was holding, built up over time, and together with the foreign stuff in my body created that fibromyalgia. So I had to look at all of that. My body would literally ache. I would be very tired, my eyes would burn, and I used coffee to just keep going because I was also a single mum and also working and at university. So I compensated by using physical stimulus like coffee to keep going. I never looked at the pain. It wasn't until my body actually just said no more and I could hardly get out of bed that I had to sit with me and I had to start looking at it. And really, I'm so grateful because my healing journey changed completely from there. So at this stage in my life, I have no physical conditions whatsoever. I don't experience pain unless I overdo the exercise. Or I've had a couple of days, like when I went on holidays and I went back to the gym, I was a bit sore because there were muscles that I just couldn't exercise while I was away because I didn't have the equipment. So realize that your body is speaking to you is where I was going with all of that, and that the body can heal itself. I'm living proof of that. I've healed fibromyalgia, I've healed irritable bowel syndrome and chronic clinical depression that was actually diagnosed 30 odd years ago. So the depression was anger turned inwards. I used to stuff all my anger down, tell myself I wasn't an angry person, and basically bury it all. And it created a great deep depression within me to the point where I was just crying all the time. I couldn't function. I took everything so personally. I was super sensitive. People had to, I believe, walk on eggshells around me, my poor husband at the time, dealing with meeting a really happy woman and then dealing with a crying, lamenting woman. I can't even imagine what that would be like. And I do have a lot of empathy for him and a lot of compassion for putting up with that. So our bodies are giving us signals all the time, which is what I kind of want to show you, is if you're experiencing pain, sitting with yourself, really asking your body, what are you trying to tell me? And, you know, there are great books that have been written on the metaphysical meaning of illness. And the mind, the will, the heart is a powerful, powerful component of healing. So first we have to believe we're capable of creating our own healing. And then we have to believe in our bodies. We have to believe in the magic of our bodies to actually create that physical healing for us. So, and Michelle's really hit the key. The forgiveness is true love. Forgiveness is also a road to healing. Acknowledging your emotions, allowing ourselves to feel our emotions. How many times do we get told off as children for displaying emotions? So from very young, we're programmed not to feel, to bury it, because it's not acceptable. As adults, we have to unlearn a lot of that programming. We have to actually learn to allow ourselves to feel the emotions and to allow them to pass through the body because they're energy. So when we allow ourselves to feel it, I had a client the other day, everything came up in her healing. Everything that she'd buried for years came up to the surface. When I followed her up, she was cathartically sobbing, and she felt so much better once it was over because she actually got to revisit those emotions she'd buried. She allowed herself to sit with them, she allowed herself to feel them, and she allowed them to pass. And then she had great healing through that process. She got insights, she had ideas for her business. Everything started to flow once she sat with everything she had buried. So that's the beauty of energy healing. It brings it to the surface. Often it'll just pass. You don't have a cathartic reaction every time. It's on the deeper stuff that we refuse to acknowledge that creates that cathartic reaction. But all of it's for our good. All of it's for our healing. So basically, to summarize, forgive and release with love. That's absolutely right, Denise. Nail on the head there. We just have to be willing to let go of everything. And that brings me back to what I was saying earlier. Everything's working together for our good, to grow and evolve us, to change us, to shape us more in the image we came with. If you look at a brand new born baby, they have no judgment of themselves. They love themselves. They love every part of their body. You know, they'll put their hands in their mouth. They'll play with their private parts. They'll play with their body. You know, they'll play with other bodies. Anyone that's hugging them, they'll touch. They'll look. They'll feel. They have no judgment. So what we're working on is getting back to that state of no judgment. Because once we're in that state of no judgment of us, others, the world, we're in that space of love that Michelle and Denise are talking about in the chat. That space of love and realizing that everything's working together for our good. And of course, it all starts with love for the self, forgiving yourself for your mistakes, forgiving yourself for not knowing what you know today earlier. Because all of it was part of a divine plan that you set in place before you came to grow and evolve and develop your soul, to learn and to alchemize this duality, this polarity that exists here, the good, the bad, the evil, the light, everything. So realize that everything is just energy, as Nikola Tesla says, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It simply changes form. So that's what feelings are. They're just energy moving through the body by us allowing ourselves to actually feel. We are actually alchemizing those feelings. We are changing the form of the energy of the feeling, if that makes sense. So when we get to a place of love and acceptance of everything that's ever happened to us, everything that's ever going to happen to us, everyone in our lives, everything in our lives, even the point we're at right now, we break down the separation. We break down the walls that separate us from each other. We come closer together. We realize we're all the same. We're all source. We're all consciousness coming through in these individual little meat suits, these individual little bodies that are so magnificent that they help connect us back to source, back to our consciousness by allowing us to actually feel the energies passing through them so that we can actually return to our divine selves, our divine nature, and really create what we came to create, which is our own version of heaven on earth, so that we can connect to each other, connect in a real way with admiration and love for ourselves and others, and realize that everyone's here to teach us. Sometimes people are here to teach us boundaries. Sometimes people are here to teach us to speak up for ourselves, to not put up with being treated in a certain way. And sometimes people are here to just love on us and embrace us and remind us how beautiful we actually are. So we can take everything that's coming. We can actually alchemize everything. We can change the energy of everything. That's the power that lies within us. And that's really my message. The crux of my message today was getting that inner guidance, realizing how powerful we are, and being that power here on the planet, and then creating the life we want to see. For me, I'd rather see a more organic world. I would prefer, I think that's why I still get triggered by technology. I really prefer that one-on-one connection. But I think that's because I'm such an old soul that I can see now everyone in me in everyone, and I long for that oneness. I'm constantly longing for the oneness. And so I had a young girl come yesterday, a teenager, and as I was touching the points on her head for the bars, she said to me, "I can feel you. I feel like we're one." And that was just like magic. I was like, yes, we are. We are one. And I said, and you know, we can talk at any time. We don't have to be physically together to do that because we're telepathic. So that's the true essence that we are. We can feel each other. We know what's going on because we're all the same. So when we destroy the separation or the thought of the separation or the ego fear of this, of that we're separate from each other and that we're here to hurt or harm each other, we just let go of all of that. And we start to see that everything and everyone is here for as our gift to grow, to evolve, to change, to alchemize all of that, those unhealed parts of us, to truly feel through our body what we feel. That's why we have bodies, the pleasure of feeling in the oneness, in spirit. There just is. There's no feeling, there's no ups and downs, there's no, anger, resentment, fear, anxiety. There's none of that. There just is. It's just, how do I know? I go there all the time. There just is. So when we get bored, we come here to feel, to have all of these experiences. And the whole journey is to remember who we are. We are the oneness. We are this. So when we become this on the planet, we heal the planet. So, love, acceptance. So in a state of harmony, we will stop creating illness and disease in our bodies. So that's what I've managed to do in my body. My body's reversed aged. I look literally 10 years younger than I did 10 years ago. My body has no illness in it. My body has a lot of vitality and energy. It blows my mind how much I get done in a day. But I can remember times in my 40s when I didn't have this energy at all. I didn't have this happiness. I didn't have this joy because I wasn't healing. I wasn't looking at myself. I was still blaming the outside world for everything that was happening to me. And I was very much a victim and playing poor me. And I couldn't change anything in that state. I couldn't alchemize anything because I took no responsibility for what I was creating. So I'm living proof that you can and you will alchemize everything and change your life for the better. And I live in true happiness and joy. Anyone that knows me now knows that I live there. I love my life and I love what I'm creating. I love that I get to be here with you guys. This is just like, whoa, what a blessing. So in that state of harmony, there is no illness, there is no disease. So if you're ill, it's a sign you're out of alignment. It's a sign you're not listening to your body, that you're not listening to your inner guidance. And the road to healing, to physically healing, is allowing yourself to sit with yourself, allowing yourself to sit with your body, allowing yourself to feel all of those things that you haven't either been allowed to feel, you've been programmed not to feel, or you've denied that you feel. That's the true road to healing. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Mwah. Ditto to you, beautiful soul. You are my soul sister, and thank you for the gift you are in my life and the gift of love you are in my life. Love and true acceptance. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. We can keep talking about that. So, thank you, beautiful. So, so the closer you get to your divine nature, the closer you get, the closer I've got. Let's just talk about me. The closer I've got to my divine nature, to acceptance of everything I've created, of everyone I've invited into my life who is my gift. The closer I've got to forgiving all of that, to accepting all of that, and to seeing the gift that everyone is and what they helped me discover about myself, what they helped me bring from the darkness into the light about myself, so I could look at it, sit with my body, look at the places my body was holding on to stuff that I had buried, that my ego wouldn't allow me to feel. And then the process for me has been about release, letting go, understanding, forgiveness, no judgment, just being in that place of being grateful to everyone and everything. And in the process of doing all of that work, I'm now in a place where very little affects me. Like I said, technology still affects me, and I kind of was sitting with that since the last live and going, oh, that's because I long for an organic existence. I long for that community. I long for, kids playing in the park. I long for, hordes of bicycles on a front lawn, like I posted yesterday, I think. That was my childhood. I grew up where people still connected very much with each other, and the phone was plugged into the wall, so you had to be home to answer it. So I'm old school, and I feel I chose that timeline because that's what I'm truly longing for again to create, and that's what I attempt to create in my life, which gives me great joy. So let's recap. So number one, inner guidance. The more you sit with you, the more you sit with your body, the more inner guidance you'll get. The more you calm this computer, this mind, this ego, the easier it is to listen, the easier it is to sit with you. How do I know? That's what I had to do. I lived here. And it was so noisy. I never could hear my body. I never could hear my soul. I never could hear God speaking to me and through me. And it's been my journey of really working here to let go of the control, to surrender, to trust, to be in a space where I know where everything is working for my good. So inner guidance, developing your inner guidance is the key. Sitting with yourself without the distraction of music, without the distraction of, other people, sitting with yourself. Asking your body, wherever it hurts, what are you trying to tell me? What's locked in there? What could I change? How could I look at it differently? How can I release it? How can I surrender to it? How can I let it go? What's underlying this dis-ease in my body, this ache, this pain, this actual physical illness? So, and then alchemy, changing it. Alchemy is actually just changing the form, looking at it, seeing the gift that it is, being able to change it. Instead of having a negative view of it, changing it to a positive view. And then creating from there, creating health, creating harmony, creating wealth, creating abundance, creating love, creating relationship, creating community, creating joy, contributing to others in the ways that you're gifted to contribute. We're all different. We all have different ways. This is one of my ways of contributing, is my YouTube channel, channeling meditations for my community, doing live, sharing the insights that I get, sharing my light language, trying to affect change for others the way I've been able to affect change for me, the way I've been able to create a life I really love. So alchemy, creating, taking responsibility. So it all starts with taking responsibility for those areas that we can take responsibility for the things we've created in our lives, for our approach to others, for the way we put ourselves out in the world, or the way we don't put ourselves out in the world. Instead of blaming others for what's happening around us, to actually take responsibility for our part in the interaction with others. So, we create negatives and positives. Thank you for the gift of your sharing. Oh, thank you, Denise. I hope it's a contribution to you. And I know you've made big changes in your life, and I know you're a great contributor in the ways that you can contribute. I know you're constantly looking for ways to help others. So that is how we change the world, Denise. That's how we change the world, right? Thumbs up to you. We all do our little part, you see. We all do our little part, and we're all gifted in different areas. Some people are gifted to give money, time, love, you know. We're all gifted in different areas. If we all started just gifting where we can, we'd change this world like that. So then, yes, so taking responsibility for the positives as well as the negatives, because we've all created positive outcomes in our lives as well. We've all positively affected people as well. So let's take responsibility for that as well. Let's celebrate that. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. And the negatives, we just alchemize it, because if we can look at the negatives as having taught us something about ourselves, and if it hasn't yet, sitting with ourselves will teach us something about ourselves through the negative experiences. We can see how we allowed somebody else to treat us a certain way because we treat ourselves that certain way. We can see how we allowed someone to talk to us in a certain way because we talk to ourselves in that certain way. For me, time, I give away my time a lot. And so I'm starting to actually sit with myself on that and see how I allow people to take advantage of my time, because I don't value my time. So they reflect it back to me. So that's still something I discovered the other day was, oh, maybe I'm still not valuing my time because I had someone that overstayed, really overstayed. So I'm still, not there yet. There's things that when I sit with me come into the light for me as well. So, and that's the journey. That's the journey of the soul. It's ever evolving. It's ever looking at something new. It's ever looking at another layer of what we're creating and how we can choose something different. So everything's based on our choices. So then the polarity and the duality here. So once we actually get out of that polarity, duality, the judgment of good, the judgment of bad, the judgment of right, the judgment of wrong, and we just have we just observe, we become the observer. That's the best way I look at it, is I'll basically step back, and rather than judging something as good or bad, I become the observer of it. So everything just becomes an interesting point of view. I'm just going, oh wow, that's interesting. It's like, for me, it's like watching a movie. So I'm watching something happen or unfold, or something being said, or an action, and I'm the observer. It's like I'm watching a movie. I don't get emotionally reactive or get emotionally involved anymore. I'm quite detached. It's like it's playing on a screen for me. That's taken work though. That takes work to be able to just detach and just watch, instead of our human nature and the way we're trained and programmed is to just get involved and take things personally and jump in and feel everything. So that's been a real gift to me, working so much with myself, observing myself so much that I can now observe others and just Have no judgment, have no judgment, and just receive everyone as they are. Everyone's different. Everyone is a different contribution in my life. Everyone teaches me something different. So I just receive everyone for who they are and the gift they are to me. So it helps me be a better person. It helps me grow. It helps me evolve. It helps me align with people more and understand where they're coming from, because I see them in me. And I learn more. I learn way more from people than I ever used to, because I used to see them as separate from me. I used to see them as separate. And I used to judge me. I used to judge them. I used to judge the circumstances. And I couldn't learn anything in that mindset, in that ego mindset. So by being the observer, I actually learn heaps. I actually take that detached stance and I actually observe. It's like watching a movie for the third time. I pick up so much more. So then the fear. Fear is a major separation. So I'm trying to recap and I realize I'm talking a lot, so I'll try and wind it up. My guest won't be here till about 10:30, so I might have to hop on again with her rather than keep you all here. So recapping, so fear creates separation from source, it creates separation from your divine guidance. And as the ladies have said, beautiful Denise and Michelle today on the chat, love. Love is the answer. Love for self, love for others. Love is the cure for everything. It's such a high vibration. It'll lift you out of all states of dis-ease. Loving your body is so healing for your body. Doing some mirror work, standing in front of the mirror, looking at your face, looking at your eyes, looking at your body, and just thanking it for being here, thanking it for getting you through life, thanking it for the amazing machine that it is, the things we put it through, the food that we give it, the water that we give it or don't give it, the drinks that we give it, everything. The body is just resilient. It's so resilient because we don't live in a natural world. A lot of the foods aren't natural anymore. I grow a lot of my own foods and herbs and things like that, so I'm very blessed. And I have a market that I go to where I can get 100% organic food. So I do eat more whole food, but I also eat out. And I don't know where a lot of those sources and a lot of those foods come from. And that's okay. I believe in balance and I want to be a contributor to small business. So I do eat out at small businesses and have coffee. 1 coffee a day now. I used to have tons as a nurse. Right, so fear creates separation, love heals all. If your body is hurting, sit with your body. Allow your body to tell you what you're holding on to, what hasn't healed yet. Allow your body to give you the messages. Sit with you. This all takes time and we're programmed not to give ourselves time. And if we start giving ourselves time, all healing is possible. Because you can't heal what you're not aware of. By sitting with yourself, by listening to your body, by listening to yourself, by listening to your divine guidance, you'll be surprised what your body can tell you. You'll be surprised what your body can show you that you're holding on to that isn't healed yet. How do I know? I've done it. I've healed so many things in my body. Yes, Cece, watch it back. It'll be on my vlog as well. So you can always go to the link on my vlog. This is about the 3rd one we've done now. So if anyone wants to catch up on the stuff we've talked about before, just go to the blog. You won't be able to see the chat, unfortunately. It doesn't move over, but it will be there. No worries, Cece. Right, so just recapping. So listening to your body. Love and acceptance. There is no separation. So in a state of harmony, you will heal your body. When you get to harmony in your mind, harmony in your heart, harmony in your body, you will heal your body. Your body responds to you, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. and who you are in the world. So, and what you believe. Your body will respond to what you believe. So the work is there. That's where the work is sitting with yourself, listening, and really connecting in to acknowledge what we haven't processed yet, what we haven't allowed ourselves to feel, what we haven't allowed ourselves to change. Everything is a choice. Everything's a choice, and everything changes when we start making different choices. Sitting with ourselves, giving ourselves time is a major choice towards change. We live in a busy world and we're pushed to be busy, 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 and distracted, distracted, distracted by television, by music, by, everything else that's going on, by being around lots of people. The key to healing is sitting with self. Because you are source. So you're sitting with source, you're sitting with God. And God is then able to reveal to you through your body, through your mind, through your heart, what's out of alignment with source, what's out of alignment with your divine nature, your creator, your power, your manifestation here on this planet, your divinity. Right. Yes, so pain in the body is a massive indicator that you're out of alignment with your divine guidance. So that's basically kind of all that came in the download today. I hope it's been a contribution to you all. I hope it's enlightened you and helped you look at areas where you are the creator in your life. You're alchemizing your experiences and you're setting yourself up for a beautiful 2023, a 2023 of joy, of happiness, of abundance, of creating the life you really desire, of creating the community you want to be in, of being the person you came to be, the warrior, the spirit, the love, the wholeness that you came to be. So just wrapping everything up, I've got the Indian head massage class next Sunday. I still have one spot available for anyone that might be interested. You can go to my website, classes, and it'll be there. And all my meditations, my body scans, my channeled guided meditations, my affirmation loops, I've just done a light language loop. I didn't have time to upload it to YouTube. I was working late last night, so that will go up at some stage because I had such great positive feedback. Jazz said that the light language on the last one reminded her of home. It was a language it sounded familiar to her, but it was she knew it from somewhere. And then Gay said that it actually shifted stuff for her emotionally. She was in tears with it. So I've started with some light language at the beginning here, and I'm going to close off with some light language, and I'll come back on live with my guest at 10:30 or 10:45 or so. I do have a client at 11, so it won't be a long live, but you can tune in, and again I'll record it on some other machines, which is why I keep looking everywhere, because last week I couldn't download it off Facebook to load it to YouTube, or my website, so it's actually embedded on my website now, and it's from Facebook. So you can see all of that on my blog. I'll just cover that off again, becdtransformation.com/vlog.html, and the link is in the little description on this live as well, so you can go straight there and watch the last couple of weeks of lives. What else? Yep, so everything's there. That was it. So we'll just finish with some light language, and we'll hop back on. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. My beautiful community, I so appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this has been a contribution to you, and be sure to put some comments in, or anything that's shifted for you, or anything that you might be working on to create your 2023. Love you all. And we'll close with some light language now. So we'll just tune in. Ia ko ia te a. O ia te ko koshe. Hai a te o mai a to ko ia te a. Ai o ko ia te kashe a to to ia. I o ko ia matu i o ko she. Ai o ko ia te ka ia to mai a to ko ia te a. O ia o i pati. Kia ko ia mātou mā ko she, a te kora tō, ta te a mātou, ko ia tau ko she, a te oi te a. E o mātou, ia ka she me, a te a, ko ia te a, te o te a mā, ia mā ko she te a. E tō te mā, ia o mā she, ka ia tō te a. Bye bye everyone, have a great day, and I'll catch you a little bit later. Bye for now.